What are you reading?
Twilight.
Oh, nice. I remember that book.
I read the whole series before, and they have all the books, so I'm like, alright, I'm gonna read them.
Let me see that. It's good for you. It's good. It's your mind busy, you know?
Yeah, I'm a big reader.
Oh, yeah?
Let me have my kids.
No, that's good. That's good. You keep your mind busy. It's the best part. The best thing you can do.
I like your shoes.
Oh, thanks. On clouds. I remember like people were like, oh, try this sneaker, and this is like the first sneaker I put on. I was like, wow, it's like really.
They're really good.
They're good, right?
I have a pair of those and I have a pair of those. I run, so.
Oh, dude, it's good. I just started running. I do. I hurt my knee, so I do my bike now. Like, so I needed something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really great, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So good.
I got them for Christmas because I was like, I'm not spending that much.
Yeah, I had like $160, right? I was like, oh, this is a present too. That's good. How you feeling? Making pretty good spirits.
Yeah, it's a nice day.
Okay, all right.
Alright, whatever. I feel better. Still a little woozy.
Good. Been here before? First time
But
or?
this is my first time in detox.
Okay.
I already, most of the time I detox by myself in my house, which is dangerous.
Yeah, I've been there. Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I went to rehab in August.
Mhm.
I had like, I came out August. Like almost, I was at 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just, that's my mark. I can never get to 6
Can't break it.
months.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what's your drug or alcohol? What's your choice? You know?
It's
Substance.
alcohol.
Alcohol? Yeah. It's tough. Man, I did that so many times. 6 months is a lot of time. 5 months is a lot too. It's tough to even. I feel like people can't break even like 2 weeks or even a 30-day mark. You know, but for me, it's like I would always go back to the same people, the same places. That's what took me out. It was not being able. I didn't have the confidence to be able to tell friends and old people that I was hanging out with that hello.
Hey guys.
They say I can't. I'm staying sober. I can't go here today, or I wasn't working the program like an AA program. I wasn't around men and women to like remind me like this is you're gonna go down this road and. You know, but I guess the last time was 6 years ago. I was in this rehab, sitting right here, and I just had enough. I had enough. I was so sick and tired of like, I was willing to do it. What's up, bro? I was willing to do anything, you know, because like just the pain is so great, and it's like as soon as you break through that barrier, it starts working, you know. But it's so hard to get there, so that's why I'll never judge or. Because I was I would always detox on myself. Like I'm having
That's what I usually do.
seizures. It's crazy. It's like,
Yes.
Seizure?
oh yeah, a few of them. I was in a bed. I was in down the hall. Like my bed was over here, and I was eating like 20 Xanax bars a day.
Me too.
Yep.
I'm like, me
at the
too.
time.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
know. I mean,
going
a
on
lot of people eat them.
That's like it's
And
insane
then-
bars. Like I was
Pop
at
my
11.
candy.
I was I was trying to like, and I was sick, still needing more like bars.
Oh yeah, I know.
And they
It's
were
never
pressed
ending.
with fentanyl, so it's like.
Yeah, I got out of it like 6 years ago, so it was like I don't know, maybe before I got a little
But
lucky.
yeah, thank God.
I was
Well,
actually
you're
when I was
alive.
in the rehab upstairs. A kid who was like 20-something years old, and his girlfriend died. He got in. They ate Xanax. They were both laced with fentanyl. I was leaving that day.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. He was like 20-something, like this really young kid, and he was like just like a ghost. And
My
he told the
sister died.
story. Just, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
I was on a meeting
My
this
mom.
morning with guys, and he's like, he's having urges to go out there and have one more blowout. Like I've seen
Right,
so
it's
many.
just like one more time, and then that's the time
That's
when
when you
you're
go.
just not gonna wake up.
That's when it happens.
That
you know?
one last time. Yeah.
You did you go to AA for me yet? Did you go to AA gym
Yeah,
program?
I'm actually pretty active in it.
Oh yeah, okay,
Like
okay.
before this happened,
Yeah.
I was going every single day.
Wow.
Locked in.
And doing,
Good for you.
there's like I always tell people if you can't come in person, there's a really great one called 5D. It's for like younger people, but
Cool.
it's young at heart or young just in your journey.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
at 9:30 every single night.
Yeah.
So like I have no
Oh, that's
excuses.
awesome. There's
Even if
always
I worked in the
something to do.
morning,
That's really good.
Yep. You what do you feel like? What do you think it is that like? Is it the people you hang out with? What do you think the mark is?
You know what it is? It's
sure.
inspired. Yeah, I was inspired for a while. I was inspired by the people that I saw at the
Mhm.
rehab, and like, yo, these people are great. Like,
Mhm.
and the counselor I had, she was like, you know, you have a knack for this. Like, I love listening to people. I love like learning why things happen, and like I do a lot of like scientific stuff. And she was like, I would love to work with you. And that just
Yeah, and you're
shifted.
so young and you can do that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's
you
just,
should.
it was the pressure of that.
Right.
And I'm supposed to move to California soon, and
Mhm.
been working my ass off to try to get the funds to go. And
Mm.
I think I just burned myself out. I was
Yeah.
like, I just need to get messed up. Like, I
Yeah.
just need to.
That's where I'm.
Right, you're like, you think you deserve, like, I need a break, you know? And you're just like, I'm definitely due for a break now.
And
Like,
that is
That's it.
unfortunately what I use as my break.
You know, and it's such a common thing. It's like, you know, we like as addicts and alcoholics, we like instant gratification. Like we
Yeah,
want
right,
everything
yeah.
now. And then I got sober at 38. So when I started seeing clear, I'm like, I started comparing myself to other people. I'm going like, I have fucking nothing. Like I lost everything. And like, so when I got out, like I wanted to make up for 30 years of shit in like 2 months.
Right, that's what I'm like. I'm rushing all these
You know,
things,
and
and
it's,
I'm
you
like,
gotta,
I gotta calm
you
down.
know, it's just like, that's why they're saying day at a time. I am like, when people say take a day at a time, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I
What are you
really
talking
got
about?
that's what I just
But
said
it's
today.
real,
I'm
like, it's a
one
real
day
thing.
at a time. I told my son.
And like, we don't do I say we stay away from relationships. For the first time in my life it worked because I took the suggestions. Like, I didn't go into a relationship. I just focused on Vinny. I did what I had to do, and I put it to God's hands. Was like, whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna, like, we burn ourselves out. We put so much pressure on ourselves so fast, and we're not. Our foundation of sobriety is still very like unstable, and I go right to it, you know. But you know, I'm happy you're here. You know, it's like you're young. You seem at least you look young. So, hey everybody,
Hey,
how
Hi.
are you? I'm Benny.
hi buddy.
Nice to meet you. From AA. Yes. And is this all? Is this everybody, or I guess
You
whatever?
don't know, they might,
Probably.
they might drift in.
Oh
Cool.
God, Elizabeth, come
Cool.
rolling in.
No,
Yeah.
I guess it.
That's it. All right. Yeah, we'll get started. So I get the boot at 2:30. Yeah, I'm Benny from AA. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, if you guys have to get out or go out, just feel free. I'm easy going. Also, we just ask you just to kind of like keep it like all together and at one person at a time to keep it organized. Yeah, a little about me. I was mini alcoholic and an addict. I was in this exact room 2019 December 28th to January 4th 2019. I remember sitting here with a very serious alcohol and painkillers and Xanax addiction, drinking a bottle of vodka, almost half a bottle to a bottle a day, 10, 20 Xanax, whatever I get my hands on, just 350 pounds, in a little shitty ass apartment. I crashed in my cars, I lost everything. 38 years old, and one day I just decided to make a change because I was so sick. I was so sick and tired. I had no excuse. Great family, great friends, everything you could ask for. But this disease is, it started off fun, sports guy, captain of the football team, you have harder in the weekends, and you get out of high school and it's like not fun. You're still drinking and drugging, and one thing, it's just more. I needed more. It was never enough. And then one day, after all the destruction, I'll go into my story a little bit, but hey, welcome. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you for being here. No, of course. Those showers saved my ass. Shower kept me alive. And it's so it started off fun. It's just the drinking in the weekends, all that shit. And then after high school, I started taking some. Alcohol wasn't good enough for me, and it was like, hey, try this pain medicine. Then it was like ecstasy at the time, club drugs. I love that. Like, I'm an addictive personality. I could, if I eat fast food too much, I'm addicted to that. Everything I do is in excess. It's like all or nothing, and that's the way my mind works. And a lot of us alcoholics and addicts. And I got out of high school, and then I started with a mortgage firm, and like it was like that movie Boiler Room, the cocaine. Like I was like a straight edge jock guy drinking some beer, to like eating 30, 40 Vicodin, selling drugs, like that, you know. Always falling asleep, crashing cars, and like we would go through all this like crazy shit, like what we put our families through, you know. I was living at the home at the time. I was in my early 20s, and you know, like my parents like watch us, and I'm an oldest of three, and you know, when we're in active addiction, like we don't realize what we're doing. Like all I want to do is just not feel that feeling of like, I always felt like I had to fit in. I never felt comfortable in my own skin. I always felt a little insecure. Was like popular guy, okay, quote unquote, but yet I was freaking dying inside. And the only thing that made me feel like really good was that alcohol, and it was all fake bullshit. Like it was like temporary fix, that like slowly, progressively, it wasn't enough. And then it's the pills, then the Xanax, then the cocaine. You got to come down from the coke. I don't got the money, so let's sell drugs at Vicodin, and this constant insanity. And you know, before you know it, 10 years passed, and we know the war stories that come with it, the fights, you know, cops, arrests, you know, all DWIs, like all the crazy stuff that comes with it. And this went on, you know, pretty much my whole life. You know, I still always maintain a job and all that stuff, and kind of, I wouldn't say hit it, but I was able to hold the job and kind of looked like I was doing okay. And then one day I got a phone call. Well, to backtrack, about 2007, I was like 20-something years old. I was eating a lot of Xanax and a lot of Vicodin and all that, a lot of alcohol. And I went to a detox. I stayed sober for a year. But the problem was, like, I just went to some meetings. Like, I didn't have any kind of program. And this is such an important part of the journey because I had nothing to fall back on. I had no community. I had no one to talk to. I had no sponsor, no big book, no God. And this disease is so loud and so cunning and so baffling. Like after a while, I started getting some things back. I was clear-minded. After a year, I found this nice girl. My parents are so happy. I got a great promotion for some company. And my first thought, I'll never forget, I was at my parents' driveway. My first thought was like, man, I gotta go work in Manhattan. Like I'm gonna be a club manager for this big fancy gym. I'm working on 43rd Street, and all of a sudden, like my first thought was like, how am I not gonna be drinking and going to the city? That was my first thought. Not like holy shit, but like I can't not drink on the train, and because I had no program, I had no steps, I had no inventory. Like when they talk about the 12 steps, that saved my life. I remember I used to go to meetings when I first tried to get sober in my 20s, and I like just would look over at the steps. Like I didn't even know what that meant. Like I didn't know what it meant to like do inventory and help, but it was just go to a meeting. And for me at the time, I thought that was the right thing. You know, I really thought I was doing the right thing. But that's just such an important part, like, of like when, you know, getting out of here was working a program, not doing it on your own. Because group therapy, things like this, like if it wasn't for the men and women in AA, or NA, whatever you choose, I don't try to push anything, it literally saved my life. Because there's so many times where like throughout this journey, especially the first year, where I was like, I'm going crazy. My head was humming 10 months in because of some of the damage I did. And I remember this kid Tommy was like, bro, it's normal. Like you're gonna be okay. Just stick through it. But if I was on my own, it's, you know, but exactly. But it was just, yeah. But if it wasn't for someone like that, I probably would have went back out. That's why it's so important to dive into some, you know, to get the right help with people. But you know, literally after that, I went back out drinking. It started over a few beers on the train. I convinced myself, oh, I'm not like these people in AA. I'm not like them. I'm too good for them. Like meanwhile, I was just like everybody else. I was just, if not, probably a lot worse. And that decision right there led me to about another 15 years of pure destruction. Car accidents, more drug abuse, more bad relationships, more job losses, just insanity. And, you know, this went on for a long time until I was, you know, up until about 2019. A little before that, I got a phone call. I got diagnosed with cancer. I was still active. And my best thinking was like, I didn't know how to handle that news. I was like, I'm a victim. Oh my God, you know, poor me. Like, which it sucked, don't get me wrong. But instead of getting healthy, you would think you would change your life. But the anxiety was so deep, and I was filled with so much fear. I had no program, no God, no nothing. I had alcohol, Xanax, and isolation. Like, don't leave. the phone went off, I'd be like, oh God, I want to talk to them. My mother would call. I'd be like, oh, I can't talk to her right now. I had to be like up high on some shit to talk to my mom. Like some basic shit. Like that's how crazy this is. And I remember like I got the news. I'm like, I'm fucking like I got cancer. Like what? Like I'm a healthy like good guy. Like what? And I just that 2 years I through my radiation treatment, through hospitals, even before the surgeries, I was popping Xanax. Like luckily I thank God I woke up. Thank God had a plan. But that's how crazy this shit is, and I continued through the treatment and all that crazy stuff. But one day I remember being in my apartment, and I just like passed by the mirror, and I just looked over and I'm like, what did you do to yourself? Like, look what you did. I was broken. I was so broken, and I was so filled with fear and so sick. Again, I was extremely obese, extremely depressed. I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't go walk up the stairs. I was living with an uncle, like not paying rent, and just feeling sorry for myself. Just done. No more job. I was doing some security job, driving around a truck that was like the axle was ready to fall off. And then I had like a God moment. I just said like, I'm done. I'm ready. I gotta do something. And that moment right then and there, I'm like, I admitted I got a problem. I got a sick problem. So I sat with my family. My family was here, and they were just made an intervention for myself. And I just said to them, I said, I'm really sick. And they're like, we know. Like we were gonna have it. That's how I get the chills to this day. They all started breaking down because later that day or the next day, they were gonna have an intervention before they went back. They live in Carolina. They were gonna have an intervention because I was on death's door, falling asleep in my food, like in front of family. Like just, it's so, I avoided pictures, but if a picture sneaks through, like it makes me sick. I'm like, if I walked around like this, I hear like a video of myself, I'm like, like no one knows. I'm like, dude, it's so embarrassing, but you know what? It's not. Like that was part of my journey. I've learned in sobriety to accept like that. It is what it is. Like you know. And I had a God moment. My family just embraced me, and I said, I'm going to St. Charles. I'm like, I'm going to a hospital, and I walked into these doors. Literally, December 28th, 2019. I remember being the only one in here. The ball was dropping in. The nurse knew I was like really committed. I was doing the right thing. She was like, listen, you want to watch the ball drop? Like, I'll let you go. After 12:03, like, get back to your bed. And I walked through these doors, and like things started changing. And that's what's beautiful about this. It's like, with I'm a very big with God, whether it's God, the universe, whatever you believe in, that's okay. But there's something bigger than me that just gave me that power and that willingness to just want to change. Because I know to this day a lot of people don't even want it. For you to step through these doors is a big deal. You got to give yourself credit because people will fight it tooth and nail to come through these doors to even admit like I'm struggling. They'd rather die. They'd rather fight it out. I was like that for a while, seasoned in my bed for months at a time to try to kick Xanax, and it didn't work. But you know, I started coming to a little bit of meetings here. I would listen to the speaker. I would take some suggestions. I wasn't in the break room fucking around talking about drug stories, with the guys. Like I was like reading some books. I saw you reading, beautiful. I met some really good people, and it was just like I was on a mission. Like I wasn't meant to live this life because I didn't take the step because I knew the road was going to be so dark and so long that like it fucking sucks. Like this is going to suck, but it was better than what I was doing. Like I'm willing to do anything, God, please. And I just legged it out. It was pain, but like that pain like calluses you, and it gets a little bit easier one day. The next day gets a little bit easier, and then it's those days that are so hard that you get past. That's where the growth is. That's where the magic is, even to this day. And then I went upstairs, like, you want to go home? I'm like, no, I want to go to the rehab. Like, I heard it was tough. I didn't want to go to the one with the beach where you could smoke cigarettes. Like, I want the shittiest, like the hardest one, so I don't go back to this craziness ever again. So I went upstairs, and not knocking the rehab, but it's a hospital wing. It's not like palm trees. Yeah, it's not a California like you see on TV with yoga and shit. And I went up there, and same thing. I just went up there, I listened. I went to every AA meeting. respectful to the nurses, did my some push-ups, and I saw a little bit of light, like, and I felt a little bit better one day, and then the next day I felt a little bit better. A week passed, okay, therapy, and then somebody came in and was like, hey, is there a Vinny here? And it was a guy from Holbrook Lovenshire, AA, and they were like, dude, as soon as you get out of this place, call me, go to the meeting. Like that's I'll get into that next. Take the suggestions. I'm like, all right. He says, go. Like, and listen, after it was only like, because my insurance only covered 21 days, so I was still a little like, my head was wobbling. I was still really having a tough time and so uncomfortable with my own skin. And 21 days came fast. It was a Friday night, a freezing cold, like January, and I remember I went to Holbrook Lovenshire, and it's a big meeting. It's a very well-known meeting. Have you been there, Beginner's meeting? But it's big, and I'm like. And like when you get there, you start getting uncomfortable, start talking to people. As bad as it hurts, but that's where God happens. That's where the magic happens. That's where the growth is. I got in a big freaking room full of like a lot of people. I was like, it was a Friday night. It was a beginner's meeting. I'm like, I'm Vinny. I just got out of St. Charles. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict, and I need some help. And it's okay. And thank God I did that. As soon as I did that, I started God working. Like God started putting people in my life that I could never imagine. I'm still in touch with. I got a sponsor. I made that my home group. I started making coffee, and that's where, if I could tell you, the biggest part, like one of the biggest parts is like when you get out of here, have a game plan. Like we don't have to do this alone. It's such a beautiful journey. You start talking to people, and they start giving you the tools and ways to not have to suffer. It's just like this weight is lifted, and you constantly stay connected, and just know it. Like it gets better. You have a whole, and then when you sit down, and when I started, I got a sponsor. I went through the 12 steps. Like I was desperate. I was 3 months in, and COVID hit. They shut all the meetings down. Most of the guys were gone. Like the guys I came here with, like disappeared. But there was Zoom. I went to freaking parking lot meetings. I'm in like weird people's houses, like we had fire pit meetings, and then Zoom was built. When Zoom wasn't really around, I don't know, but I was in my truck doing Zoom meetings. But that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take whatever. It's life or death. I know sometimes it's like, I don't know, say corny or cliche, but it's like, it's real. It's just, this is as real as it gets. But like, the more work you put in, the more God starts putting people in your life, and you just start, you get through these darkness, and all of a sudden it's like this light hits. You're like, holy shit, I got a little hope. I went to my uncle's, like an older brother of me died like a year into sobriety, not even. I had to be in a big crowds, and I'm like suffering, I'm dying. Still very uncomfortable, still very overweight, and I'm like, God almighty, the only thing that helped me was Xanax. I relied on calling my sponsor. I talked to other guys. I had my car. If I didn't feel uncomfortable, if I felt uncomfortable, I leave. It's like, this is my life now. Like, if you don't respect it, too bad. I gotta go. That's it. I got through it, and that was a big win. That made me stronger right then and there. And then I'm like, holy shit, I could do this. And it's like, then the next thing came, and the next thing. Then I got a new job. I got this sick job offer. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I get the chills because I remember like, and then I got my car back. I got a new car. I'm like, I remember getting in this Maximum, like crying hysterically, just bawling, because I'm like, I can't believe this. I've been driving around this piece of shit praying the wheel doesn't snap for years, and like now I'm in this nice car. Holy shit, I got this job, and these gifts keep coming. But the problem is, like, we don't give ourselves a chance. Like, I didn't give myself a chance. When it got too hard, I love comfort. Most of the world right now, it's distractions with bullshit. It's fast food, Instagram, Facebook. No God. What do you think is gonna happen? You know? Drugs, numb. Give me some pills, give me some booze. Like, you're comparing yourself to some fitness influencer that's probably a piece of shit behind the scenes. You know? Like, all being revealed now, a lot of it. We're filled with so much distractions and all that stuff, but instead it's like, put your time into other people. Then you start meeting people, then you start helping other people, then you start sharing this gift. Hence, like 1:30 on a Sunday, I couldn't wait to get here. I love coming here, you know, because it reminds me, it keeps my ass humble. And I want to be able to pass this gift to you guys, like people came here for me. I promise God, you get me through this, I will do anything. And life has gotten, I got married. I couldn't hold any relationship. There was a time I was single for years. I couldn't even have the guts to even look at a woman, like a person really. Never mind go on a date, sit in front of someone, have a conversation. I met a wonderful woman, but I waited until I was good and ready. And I started creating a new person, and then God put the right person in my life. I wasn't like all lonely and 6 months into it. I'm better. Let's go. No. Like slow down, focus on you, and the right person will come. Slow down. Don't rush that job. The right job will come. You have to put the work in, but take it day at a time. Take it slow, and the right things come. And that's what this is about. It's like, and then when I started doing the steps, I sat down with someone, and then you start taking a look in the mirror, and it's like you do an inventory. You start writing things down. I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm a victim mentality. Like here I am thinking I'm like some like athlete guy. I'm like, I'm fucking soft. Like anytime things got comfortable, like victim mentality. My boss is an asshole. My mom and dad should have signed the college letters. This boss was an asshole. Like it was everybody else was the problem. Like I was the problem. I'll never forget the day I was at Corey Beach. I did the steps because it was COVID. You couldn't be around certain places. And I remember like it hit me like a Mack truck. I'm like, holy shit, like it was me this whole time, like not everybody else. And that's the magic of the steps. You take a look and then you see your character defects. Where am I going? See, after about 90 days or so, six months, like the drugs and alcohol don't mean much. It's like controlling your mind, your emotions, like how to handle stress. Like that's what this whole thing is all about, connecting with God. And it's gonna be tough, but on the other side of that tough is so much beauty that I can't even like explain it sometimes. It just fills your heart so much, and but it's, you gotta start somewhere. And I remember being here and being like, this is not gonna fucking happen. Like I'm just started. Like the road was so long, but like out of the gate, as soon as you start putting some work in, things start happening to relieve that like, oh my God, like like that feeling. And that's my story. And here I am. And I try to, I went up losing a ton of weight. Got married, and I started my own business 2 years ago, a painting business. And it's like only do because I'm sober, and because I just put so much work in, constantly reading entrepreneur books, talking to people, being humble, helping, and you have to rewire. You have to like really just start creating a whole new human being. That's what it is. And it gave me the confidence. Like, you know what? Why not me? This guy does it. Like, I have a good heart. I can work hard. Like, I'm not stupid. Let me try it. I got this. Like, and it works. Like I don't know what's gonna tomorrow bring, but I still get a lot of fear. There's nights I'm sitting 2:30 in the morning and I'm fucking dying inside still. But I gotta talk about it. It's every day. We gotta keep working on it. You could have 10 years. You're never in the clear, but it gets a lot easier, and it's such a beautiful journey if you embrace it and you put the work in. And that's it. I'd love to hear from you guys. I just want to kind of share of my experience and my little journey. Hopefully it helped. And then if you're not comfortable, sharing, that's okay too. But if you go around the room, please, I'd love to hear one at a time. I'd appreciate it, and we'll give each other the respect. And thank you guys so much for having me here. And whoever wants to share,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
I'll go first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for coming down. It really does work. I just had a short relapse. I just relapsed, and I started drinking again first week of January, like right after New Year's. But I've been doing AA for a long time. But back when I first started, about 12 years ago, I was into pills. I was a heroin addict, and it took a long time to actually get that awareness to start doing the work. But where I failed recently, because I just had about 3 years sober. I relapsed last summer for 3 months, and I ended up in detox twice. And I just recently relapsed after 16 months. So I had like 19 months. Then I was with a nice girl. My life was getting good. Did the steps. You know what I mean? Ended up ruining that relationship. beautiful program if you can get connected. Start working with a sponsor, because over the years I had other sponsors and I compared myself to them because they were younger than me. So I felt like getting an older sponsor was a better idea for me this time. And they do, you know, service work at like Phoenix House and stuff like that. My sponsor just wanted me to go with him, this week, and I ended up drinking again. Yeah, I've been through a lot, but it's been like a breakdown. I can relate to what you're saying a lot. It's been a breakdown of trying to be humble, you know, trying to gain a humility, like comparing myself to other people, but we really are all the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all have pain. It's not easy when you relapse, and this time it's just pick up right where you left off. So it got bad. You know what I mean? I've been drinking for 2 weeks, and within the last month I ended up here 3 times, because I was here, I came in yesterday, but I was here the day before and I ended up leaving because the security guard downstairs was being a dick, and that didn't work out well because I ended up back here the next day. So, you know, things are going well, and you take that one drink, and in my mind, it's like, I don't want to make the phone call because I'm already thinking about that, and that's where I failed again. You gotta call somebody. I should have called my sponsor, and but this time, you know, I never wanted to put myself in, because I've been upstairs a couple times when I was a heroin addict and stuff like that, and once I was able to put the Suboxone down after years of trying like that, I just went on to the next drug, started doing meth, started doing crack recently. So it's just like, it's all the same, it's all poison, so it just ruins your mind state, you know? And you gotta try to keep learning, you know? You gotta take advice from people, and sometimes I think I can do it on my own, because that's the way a lot of alcoholics are. I started working at a young age, and I'm pretty capable of like everything else that I do, but you know, alcoholism is one thing that I can't control, and I had to be taught that after years and years. And I downplayed the alcohol because I was like, yo, I used to be a heroin addict, I used to do this, I used to do that, and sometimes I downplay the alcohol, and I'll end up going, because I live like 2 blocks from a bodega and a liquor store, so like, it's just one bad decision, that's all it takes. So I want to get back into it, do more service work, and just get better at it, you know what I mean? Be like a person like you that's sitting here trying to help people, because that fills you with happiness, and it fills you with strength, you know? The last 3 years before I did this, I was upstairs, and you really pray, and then the light comes. You're right about that, you know? You start learning people, you start getting humble because, you know, you start comparing with other people, which everybody doesn't have to go as far as somebody like me and you went, you know? But you can really stop, you just gotta ask for help. So,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing, man, that's a great story.
Thank you so much. You know, like in the beginning, even sometimes like not lately, like later on in sobriety, like I don't have self-love. Like every time I would get this good shit going, I'd fucking destroy it. Like I'd find some way, because deep down what that is like, there's something we don't love about ourselves. And I've learned that, you know, more recently, but that's what it is. Like we are deserving. We're deserving of a good life. Like when things start going good, I'm like, this is fun. This is weird. Like I didn't know how to handle it. I swear to God, I didn't even know how to handle like
Pretty much well for 3 years.
self-sabotage. And like, we don't have to do that to ourselves, and it's such a vicious, tough thing, and it's a sad thing that we do to ourselves, and it can happen to me tomorrow. It can happen tomorrow if I don't keep up on my shit, you know, and it's, but no, thank you for sharing, man, it's really, you're gonna be alright,
Thank you for sharing.
I'm going back after 28 days time.
That's good, man. Yep, just keep your head clear, stay with a lot of bozos sometimes, no offense to them, but, you know, just keep your, it's good,
Yeah.
That guy's an asshole.
I've seen two people leave.
yeah, of course, what do you got?
So, I decided today, right, that I'm gonna do rehab again. I've been to Seafield,
Okay,
but I've never been upstairs.
That's where I'm at. I was gonna go upstairs, but I'm a smoker, so, you know, when honestly I probably should've just went upstairs.
I would say,
You know.
I would say go somewhere comfortable. I would say.
I'll
No,
talk to
you
you
can't.
after, well, we can go over
So I
after.
went to Seafield.
Yeah, I'll go on a side note,
I'm not
my
going
personal
up there.
experience. Who,
I gotta kick those two.
who wants to
Wanna hear
share
my
next?
story?
I would love to hear,
Here's my
of course.
story.
What's your name?
My name's Jerry. I'm an alcoholic.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
A little over 2 years ago, I was drinking 1.75 liter a day. Shit's out of vodka. And I was with my friend. I was helping her with the horses. There was a hornet's nest about the size of this thing. I thought it was a good idea to throw a rock through it. I slipped on the driveway, and a hornet stung me on my nose, and I fell down. And then they just
Oh my god.
had at me. They stung me like 50 times. I ended up in the hospital. No, I didn't end up in the hospital. I sat on the couch and toughed it out. I sat there for 7 days and I drank myself into a stupor every single day,
After you got
1.75
stung?
liter. Yeah. After I got stung. I got sick from it. It made me sick. And these little
Oh.
yellow rocks were coming out. It stung me in the weirdest places, like under my arm. It was really weird. So anyway, I sat on the couch for I think it was 7 to 9 days, and I drank an extreme amount. And I realized something sitting on the couch. I didn't even get drunk anymore. Wasn't even drunk.
Yep,
I was just numb.
yep.
That's all it was. I'm fully functional after a 1.75 liter. So with that, I went to bed one night and I had a chest pain like nobody's business. So I thought it was a good idea to get in the car, and I went to St. Catherine's Hospital. They put me in ER. I was there for 3 days. I was AFib. I was this close for dying. I had infections everywhere. My liver was failing. 3 days in ER, 16 days in the hospital. When I got out of that house, prior to getting out of that hospital, I realized, as the cliche goes, change everything. I have to change everything. I'm not going to
Nothing
rehab.
changes and nothing
I can
changes.
teach a rehab. I know everything there is, and a rehab's not gonna help me. I gotta change everything. So I went to a sober house, and I was petrified. I hardly ever walked back into my apartment. I went in there, I had my sober friend with me, help me clean it up. We got out of there, put stuff in storage, and that day, out of the hospital, I went to New Journey Sober House. Scared out of my mind. I mean, it was just a difficult time. My boy, I was the first one in this house. It was a brand new house. There was only 2 of us in the house, and Leo made me go to a meeting. So I went to a meeting, and then the rules were you had to go to 6 meetings a week. So I went to 6 meetings a week. I did this for a little while, and I just did it, you know, like, again, numb. I just went there and listened and didn't do anything. And then I realized after, you know, hearing things that were so similar to my story, that maybe I should listen to these people. Maybe I should get a sponsor, do the side work, do the steps. So I started to get into it. I was the manager shortly after that for the sober house. I was there for 2 years. And this is just shortly. I left in May of this year. So I was in the sober house, and it was a difficult time. And I said to everybody, I realized, it dawned on me, if you don't buy into this program, if you don't buy into it 100%, if it doesn't consume every fiber of your body, if you don't follow these steps, if you don't go to meetings, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, if you fail in any capacity, you're gonna start drinking. You have to buy into this program. This program has to consume you or it's not gonna work. You have to 100% grab a hold of it and do it. And I used to tell people that. Then I had a sponsor, then I was a sponsee for a little while. You know, step 9 of mine was 27 pages.
Oh.
It was difficult. I mean, I was just a train wreck. And
Wow, stuff, yeah.
there's a quote in the book, the alcoholic is like a tornado, destroying everything in its path, your friends, your relationship, your family. I can't tell you, I was in jail 3 or 4 times, and just turn around and see my mother sitting there behind me crying because again I'm in jail. And never was I in jail sober, ever, not one single time. My past was a train wreck. I stayed in that house for 2 years. On May 1st, I moved into an apartment. I had a bitter feud with the owner of the house, so I moved out May 1st. I thought to myself, why not? Let's have a little drink. Why not? Just I'll have a little drink. I've been doing it for 2 years. I can handle this now. And it just went straight downhill. I was still going to meetings. I still went to home group. I was chairing a meeting at home group in Petro, not Petro, but in Port Jefferson. I chaired the Monday meeting. I made the coffee. I did all of that. So I started drinking a little bit, and it just escalated. And now here we are. What is it? 7 months later. 7 months later, I'm back here in rehab because I lost control. I thought that I could stop drinking. I swept my bed, you know, soaking wet. I said, no, this isn't gonna work. And here I am. But if I could tell anybody anything, and I've told a lot of people this, if you wanna stay sober, you have to buy into this program. This program has to be everything that you do. If you do it half-ass, it ain't gonna work. You know, another thing is, the reason maybe I started drinking, I never saw the pink cloud. What is step 9? The promises of step 9 tells you that financial insecurity shall leave you. It didn't. My truck broke down. I bought a $14,000 Ram truck. It broke down shortly thereafter. I had to put a $13,000 engine in it. 2 weeks ago, the tranny fell off the floor. That cost me another $1,500. Then I really started drinking, and now I'm here. So I stopped going to meetings. I stopped doing the program. I didn't call my counselor anymore, and I went straight downhill. And I think that I am a perfect example of, if you do it half-ass, it's not gonna work. So that's my story.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it takes a lot to even talk about it and to come back here. You know, a lot of people, like after they relapse, like they don't come back at all. They don't have the, I guess it's an ego thing or just the too much pride to be like, I can't admit this again. You know, and that was me for my first relapse. Like I disappeared for 13 years. Great people in AA, and I just like they didn't exist. I just went on. It's such a crazy thing, but it's true. And you know, and after my first year or so, you know, I didn't rely just on AA. I started a lot of prayer, and then exercising, eating the right foods, limiting my social media. I wish they talked more about it in AA, because I want to armor myself from this disease as much as possible. Because a lot of the times we leave, you know, we get AA, which is my foundation, my big part of my life. But then we're eating a lot of junk food, smoking a lot of cigarettes, eating a lot of shit food, toxic shit, McDonald's. Because I used to say to myself like, oh, I'm sober, I could eat fucking Ben and Jerry's every night. But then I'm like dying inside because I'm still so uncomfortable. Once I learned that piece of it, I'm like, I applied the AA because it's like an addict. I eat the same way, junk, give me ice cream. No, I finally learned discipline. I learned this guy, Gary McGoggins, I heard a video, I told him about getting uncomfortable. Callousing your mind. When you don't want to go for a run, run. Whatever my mind told me, I did the opposite. You know, Vin, go get that Friendly's ice cream, you deserve it. Nope, go for your run, go walk 2 miles. And that's when the other level of change, because we rely on just go to meetings, just like robots. And like, oh, this now what? But like, there's no extra prayer, there's no extra working out. There's just junk food, cigarettes, coffee.
You need a
Sponsor.
Get a sponsor right away.
So I suggest also, you know, off
don't
the
just
AA
sit there
record.
and listen and do nothing, you know. Well,
absolutely.
a lot of people play on their
Absolutely.
phones, they sit there.
Nah, be
So
present.
what the fuck are you here for? What
Be
you bothering
present,
for?
but a big part of it is, be very mindful of your food intake. Put good foods into your body. It's, I'm telling you, if I show you a picture what my life used to look like, you'd be like, even I look at it, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
You can actually
Ice
do that
cream.
when like you're sober. Like
Oh, yeah.
I normally eat like real healthy, real right.
You take it step at a time. It's okay to eat pizza and shit, but don't go on a binge because you're sober, because like that messes with your spirituality too, and it could lead to the other thing. You know what I mean? Because you want to be as spiritually, physically, just feel good when your frequency is high and you're eating good food, you're going to meetings, you're an unstoppable force. Like when that verge comes, when the trucks breaks down and you're shelling out another 1,500, we don't act emotionally and go to that drink. We learn how to handle that. That's where and it's so tough. It's easier said than done, because I did it over and over and over, and then and the financial insecurities. It's like it's never gonna go away. I sit sometimes at 2 a.m. Why would I start my own business? What an asshole! The self-doubt still kicks in, and I'm doing all sorts of like self-help stuff. But I calm my mind. I've learned how to you have a roof over your head. You're healthy. Your wife's okay. You got food. You got a couple bucks in the bank. It's gonna be okay. God is going to provide. Every time I was in some kind of thing, it worked out. It some way, somehow worked out. It's never going to be perfect. I think we're always going to all have financial insecurity, but you learn how to have faith in God or your higher power, whatever it may be. It's going to work out, and that's what this whole. It took me a little while to understand, but but just, I'm not going on a tangent, but just be mindful of of what you eat. I made that mistake in the beginning. I was just shelling myself with fucking Friendly's ice cream like crazy, and I just felt so shitty. And I'm like, if I keep this up, man, I'm gonna wind up drinking because I feel so insecure still. I can't put on a pair of jeans. So when you go through that other hard stuff, it's like, oh, it's such a beautiful thing that I want everybody to experience, And I talk about it because I gotta watch too, If I go on an ice cream bender, it's over. My wife's like, I should bring an ice cream spoon once. She's like, you're the ice cream man. I'm like, oh my God, But no, it's crazy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you sharing. It means a lot.
I'll go next.
Please, that'd be great.
I'm very long-winded, so bear with me. Started off, I was very young, 10, 12 years old, just some beers and stuff, whatever, just getting fucked up with the guys,
Sure, yeah. Oh, good. I know the
Then
feeling.
weed, Then I was very big into sports, so I played. I was a triple letterman, honor roll. I've actually seen over 100 on my report cards, sequential math, C+, all that. School was not for me, college was not for me. Tried it a few times. Then I had a group of friends that we were all, we grow marijuana, and I started making some big money. And so I was like, you know what? Now you have a couple bucks in your pocket, you have no excuse. Go find yourself a good job. So I found a friend who owned a mortgage company. So he's like, dude, just come with me. You're never gonna look at no bullshit ever again. I promise you. There's your first commission check, you'll never look back. True, my first commission check was 5 G's. Ooh, big deal. But at that time, $5,000 was I thought I was rich, Next thing you know, I'm number one in the company. Right? There's 9 locations, I'm number one. Top of the game, I go into the big office, there's my name, right? Because they put everything across the board.
Yeah, big with that,
Number one on the money list. 4 years running. 2008 happens, right? No more career. Okay, but the whole time I'm drinking. A little Coke, a couple coolies here and there, whatever. No big deal. I thought it was casual, right? Everybody said liquid lunch, right? Don't worry. But it couldn't be liquid lunch for me because then I would have to cancel the rest of my appointments because I can't stop drinking. Once I have the first sip, it doesn't stop. Okay, no problem. beautiful girlfriend go through a struggle. So then there was a few like whatever jobs. I ended up selling cars. I become number one again, right? We only had 4 stores. I was number one. They would have parties because motherfuckers would see me walk in and start cheering. There he is. How do you do it? How do you do it? I don't know how I do it. The whole time when I'm drinking. That 1.75 is nothing. Nothing. But it's not enough, right? The money, the car, the drinking, the drugging, the going to Atlantic City to the high rollers table, right? And taking every hand on the table, right? Laughing, like blow 30 grand, and my boys are like,